Movie Man is back.
Oh, my gosh, the ring got messed up. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have the leopard.
This is your boy. All right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash the True Inferno. Back at it with another Pokemon Unite commentary video for you guys, and boy, oh boy, oh boy, there's a lot to discuss here, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot of things to discuss, and to be honest, the next 5 weeks, or really the next 4 weeks, starting with this week, is covered. The next month basically is going to be crazy. So we got the Kyrie Irving situation where the mayor of New York basically are allowing their athletes, whether they're vaccinated or not, well, this is directed towards those who are not vaccinated, to basically play at home games now. So Kyrie has been playing in Brooklyn, and he's able to go to New York and play in the Madison Square Garden. So, you know, there's that. And then we got another scenario where, and this one is new, we're going to talk about this at some point. Activision Blizzard has settled their sexual harassment lawsuit for $18 million. So there's that. And then, of course, we got PlayStation unveiling their PlayStation Plus service. And we're going to talk about that further down the road because that won't be dropping until June. So we got plenty of time to talk about that. And then there's two more things. One of them for somebody. Oh, yeah. I still want to talk about the Streamer Awards, so I'm going to do that next week. I will do that next week. I will bring that to you guys next week. So what's going to happen is, over the span of the next 24 hours, I will be recording 5 videos. Now, what this one going to be about? I mean, come on now. You know what the number one topic that everybody's talking about. The slap heard around the world. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. So, okay, so here's the deal. So, everybody should have seen the clip. Never mind if you've seen the Oscars or not. I didn't see the Oscars. I normally don't watch awards. Really, I don't watch award shows nowadays except for the Game Awards. And, you know, that's probably it. And then I normally rather slander those or watch other people slander those because it's funny. But outside of that, I don't watch anything dealing with any award shows. Not even like the BET Music Awards or anything like that. It's hilarious. It is very hilarious. So, because I don't like the Oscars, because, you know, most of the time they'll get it wrong. And the ones that say, oh, it's fan voting, I highly doubt that it is. Or the fans messed it up some way, shape, or form. So I normally don't watch any award shows, especially the Oscars, because I'm not really interested in the Oscars. But this one was interesting. This was very interesting. So, now, here's what happened. So, in case you missed it for some odd reason, Chris Rock, who was not the host, but he was a presenter, obviously was on stage. And Chris Rock, obviously, never mind the fact that he's an actor, but he's also a comedian, which is very important, folks. He made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, the wife of Will Smith, basically saying that she could star, or she looked like she's going to star in the next G.I. Jane movie. So obviously people got to laugh at it. And Will was Will was laughing, but it was one of those one of those types of laughs. And not because his wife was giving him a look saying what's so funny, but it was more along the lines of, did he really just say that? It's one of those type of laughs, like, yeah, okay. It was one of those types of laughs. But Jada wasn't laughing. So apparently her facial expression says she took offense to that. So what happened was Will got up, walked on stage, and literally slapped Chris Rock. And then he sat back down and he was like, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. He said that twice. So, and it was crazy. Now, as the night went on, as the award show went on, Will Smith won, what's the award? Actor of the Year, if I recall seeing that correctly, for his movie that he did when he basically played the role of the father of the Williams sisters, Venus and Serena Williams. So yeah, King Richard. I think that's the name of the movie. Yes, King Richard. So yeah, he won the award for Best Actor in a Leading Role. That's what it was. That's to me, that's one of the top awards there. And I'm guessing, I don't know. So it was crazy. It was very, very crazy. So and he gave his award speech as if nothing happened. And there were some Twitter videos of him partying the same night afterward, acting like as if nothing happened. So there's that. But it's really, really crazy, man. So a lot of people gave a lot of takes on this one, and I rated for a while, see what a lot of people had to say, and I'm gonna come. So here's my conclusion, actually, in terms of this, how everything went down here. So the one thing people, and the one thing people, some people, not most, but some people fail to realize is this: Chris Rock, like I said, he's an actor, but at the same time, he's a comedian. If memory serves it correctly, I could be wrong, it's been a long time, but if memory serves it correctly, Chris Rock got his start in the entertainment business as a comedian first. I could be wrong on that, but that's my mindset, that he got his start as a comedian. And then he went on to become an actor. And it's like that with most of these guys. Look at Chris Tucker, look at Dave Chappelle, look at Martin Lawrence, look at Sinbad, look at, what's his name, Kevin Hart. Yeah, that's how it is with a number of these guys. They get their start as a comedian, and then they get picked up and get into Hollywood. Now, some of them still maintain their comedian role, where they go out and do tours, comedy tours, whatever the case may be, especially Kevin Hart, rather, he does that. But again, they are known first and foremost as comedians, because that was their first profession. So, as a comedian, let's be real. You don't pull punches as a comedian. I don't care. You don't pull punches. If you go to a comedy show, and I'll be honest, I've never been to a comedy show. I never thought about going to a comedy show. But if you're going to a comedy show, there's a very good chance you're going to get roasted by the comedian because of how you look and how you dress or your attire or whatever the case may be. There's a very good chance you're going to get roasted. That's just how it is. And the roast could, they could pull punches or not. It don't matter. Bottom line is this: if you go to a comedian show, they're not pulling punches, and there's a good chance you're going to get roasted. So, one of the things that Shannon Sharp from Undisputed, who is a former football player, a former football player, not necessarily a comedian or an actor, but at the same time, he is a celebrity. So, that counts for something. He did say this, and this is a good point as well. When you go to these award shows, and especially the Oscars, which is the highest of the high, you got the Oscars, you got the Grammys, you got the Academy Awards, you got all this stuff, whatever the case may be. But there's certain award shows, depending on what the category is, that is like the top tier. And if you're there, the mindset that you might have as a celebrity that is there, whether you're there just to attend or you're there because you're a nominee, is you're a big shot. Like, you're high above everybody else because you're there, you dress nice, you're wearing expensive attire and all that jazz. So, normally, the job of the host or the hostess and or the presenters is to tell jokes at the expense of those in attendance. Because, hey, yo, yeah, y'all got here, y'all put in the hard work, but don't act like you're high and mighty because, you're here. So we're going to tell jokes at your expense to, lower your ego down so everybody else watching can be at ease, so they won't be feeling any type of way of not being there, whatever the case may be, which makes sense. That's normally how it is. When you get a host, they're normally funny, they normally tell jokes, and whether it's they telling jokes at the expense of the audience or not, but it's normally a thing. And that's also sometimes happens with presenters. They do that as well. So when you have somebody like Chris Rock, who is a comedian first and foremost, and then an actor second, yeah, he's going to take shots at the audience, and that's what they hear. Now, some of you might say, well, yeah, that's true, but what he said about Jada was harsh because of her condition. And so for those you don't know, Jada Pinkett Smith suffers from alopecia, how you pronounce it? I'm not sure. This is my first time hearing of this condition, so I'm not the expert or anything like that. So for those you don't know what that is, it's basically like a hair loss disease. I believe that's how it is. So she's, at this point, she's close to being bald. So really close to being bald. Now, at the same time, this disease, and again, based on what I heard, I haven't looked this up to be honest. So if I'm wrong here, please say so in the comment section. this disease is not life-threatening. It does not make you look weird. Like, women with bald heads, whether they choose to do that or not, it's not a well-known fashion choice. You don't see a lot of women with that bald head attire, so to speak, or that bald head style. It's not really, the number one option for women. I'm guessing. I don't know, but I haven't seen a lot of them. So, while whether she may or may not want to have a bald head, and even though this is a disease, but let's be real, again, it's not life-threatening. It won't make her look hideous or anything like that. There's some beautiful women that have low hair or bald hair. There's out there. And look at that Jada. Yeah, she's one of them. So as long as they don't do one of those things, I don't see what the big deal is, So, and some people point out, some people saying that it's not life-threatening or anything like that. So what's the big deal, Of course, Chris Rock is there. He gonna take shots at the audience. So obviously, what you expect. So, and then the funny thing was, there's some women out there who say, "Oh man, Will standing up for his woman, that's good," blah blah blah. And I'm like, but yet over the past few years, apparently Jada haven't been doing the same thing for a man. I recall obviously a lot of people talked about this, the incident involving August Alsina. I have no clue who that is, but this is my first time hearing about this cat. But apparently they had a thing when Jada and Will was separated. Now, granted, you might say, well, they were separated, and the rumor is Will allowed her to hook up with August at the time. But at the same time, I'm like, yo, okay, now that y'all back together, why ain't you going after August? What's the deal? Why ain't you going after August for doing X, Y, Z physically with your woman, but yet you want to go after a comedian who does what he always do, and that takes shots at people? I mean, and let's be real. Now, Will is not known as a comedian, but he got jokes and he can roast people. Let's be real. So he should know this. So, and I really hate the fact that he went up there and slapped him, because now the issue is everybody in the world over the past, this is going to last for a long time. They're going to be meme. They are meme like crazy, and it's not a good look for black people, I'll be honest. Even though black people are doing it themselves, memeing them, but it's still not a good look at all, especially at the Oscars. So where I stand is this: Will should have went up there and slapped him. If he had an issue with it, talk to him backstage. Go to backstage, talk to him right there. If you still want to, I don't know why he would want to beat him up, but yeah, if you want to do that, do it backstage. Slap him backstage, whatever the case may be, but don't do it in front of, what is it? And this is another thing I want to talk about as well. In front of 55.6 million viewers, something along those lines, because a lot of people apparently watched this show. And what I heard was this was the most watched Oscars in a long time, and that's another thing. I think it went up 56% for last year's, which was a historic low in audience size, so this year's Oscars was better than last year and have been amongst the best for quite some time, and not because of this incident. And the crazy thing is, it was produced by Will Packer and Sailor Karen, and both of them are black. This was the first time the Oscars were produced purely by black people. Now, the director ain't black, but it was produced purely by black people, which was huge. I'll be honest, that's a big deal. And the fact that they did it, and that the views were at not an all-time high, but it's like an all-time high in recent memory, was huge. But all that is ignored because of the slap that was heard around the world. Now, granted, Will, I think a day or two later, apologized, but it's like he shouldn't have done it. And then, obviously the word is, oh, they should have escorted him out the building, which makes sense. Or they should have took the award away from him, whatever the case may be. And here's the thing about that. Apparently, there's been other instances, much worse instances, involving award winners. And yet that happened. I don't know when that happened, the same night or the day prior, whatever the case may be. But yet the Academy ain't going up to them and say, yo, we need that Oscar back. So why should they do it with Will? I mean, that's what some people saying. I don't know the details about that, so I'm going to let that go. But I want to address the women, because this was the thing that first night. The women were defending Will, like, oh, yeah. Oh, man should be acting like Will Smith. And I'm like, again, first off, where was Will Smith when Jada was hooking up with August? Where was he then? He should have went after August. He should have beat August's ass instead of slapping Chris Rock. So there's that. And these are the same, and this is another topic for another day, but these are the same type of women that's like, let's be real, black women that want to control their men. So that's what's going on there. And that's another topic for another day. So I'm not going to get into that here. So bottom line is this. Will should not have slapped Chris Rock. The joke was not that big of a deal. And if he had a problem with it, he should have went at him backstage, talked to him, slap him backstage, whatever the case may be. I don't know. But at the very least, he should not go on stage and slapped him. Because let's be honest. And, you know, some people want to say race ain't the issue here. It kind of is, because if that was not Chris Rock, let's say that was Jim Carrey or some right presenter, and Will Smith slapped him, Will Smith would have been arrested. Like, he would have been escorted out the building. He would have been arrested. I don't care if it is Will Smith, who is like top of the line actor here. I don't care. He would have been escorted and arrested, because I don't care how big you are. If that was a black guy slapping a white guy, he would have been gone. He would have been pressed charges, which Chris Rock did not do, by the way. So kudos to Chris Rock for that. But at the end of the day, that was not a good look at all for Will. That was not a good look, rather, for the African-American community, even though they don't realize it, because look at all the memes that are coming up from there. So that's my stance on that. And I'm going to call it a wrap. So with all that said, y'all know who this is. This is the boy New Jay Gatsby, a.k.a. the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah.